So there's just what's appearing to happen. Speaking, hearing sounds, the feeling of hot tea, sitting on a chair, thought might be there, whatever. There's just energy. And any sense that there's a you that things are happening to is artificial. And that's what's being illuminated here. It may feel absolutely real, a really felt feeling of being in the body and looking out on a world that's outside of you. So there's the world and there's you, there's life and there's me with my life. And that's the way it feels. And then everything is filtered through this sense of me. They're my thoughts, my emotions. I'm sitting on the chair, so on. And there's a sense of really felt sense of moving in time and space in a linear manner. So what's being illuminated is all of that is actually an appearance. And that illumination is not an understanding. It's not to do with knowing. It's the person who knows. It's that sense of being a separate person who is a closed loop of knowing. So this is not about getting anything, understanding anything. This is simply a sharing that can resonate. And that resonance is concerned with childlike wonder. A scene that's beyond description and is completely ordinary and obvious. Too ordinary and obvious for the person. So when it's shared in this way, it's any question concerned with what's being discussed is there just to be asked. It's not about there being an answer, of course, because there is no answer. But there will appear to be an answer, and it may be that there can be an opening to what's being shared here, and that sense of being a person can appear to fall away. Hi, Shellen.
Hey, Kenneth, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I just have a question that's probably not very important anyway, but just curiosity. The separate individual, that's the same thing as the me, right?
Oh, yeah. When I say,
Same thing as person.
yeah, and I think actually, when I was talking there, I said the you, and then I said me, which did occur to me might be confusing. That's the same thing that I mean.
Okay.
Sense of being me. When I say you, it's the same. And when I say the me, I mean the sense of being an individual. Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. The
And is that
individual.
this, that's the same as when you say a person?
Yeah, usually.
Okay. Okay.
I know.
And then
Maybe
that's,
it's a bit confusing. So
no, it's,
I
it's
don't.
good.
I can kind of jump around. But normally I use, I'd say, the me or the individual. It's all the same. Yeah.
And then is that the same as the character? Like, so in my case, the character named Shalane, or that's
Yeah, what I
not,
think of, what I tend to think of the character is just the flavor of the person, just the way you are. So it's not to do. I the way I think of it is like the persona is like the story the person takes on, like the mask to the face to meet the faces that we meet. You know, this sense of the story of me, and then that as opposed to the character is just the essence of the way you are. That's in every cell of you.
okay, that's
That's
helpful.
just the way you are. Yeah. So what the way it tends to be is that when the sense of being a person, an individual person, is no longer, and there's just what's appearing to happen. The character is even more so, it's more colorful even, because the way that we think we should be kind of dampens down the character often, because it's there's real sense when you feel like a person that I there's a real kind of tempering of the character often, of it's you're too much of one thing and you're not enough of another thing, and you're kind of constantly tinkering, and then when that just collapses, there's just the way you appear to be.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Oh, hi, Maureen.
Hi, Kenneth. How are
Hey,
you?
good. Nice to see you.
Yeah, nice to be here. I've been missing it. Actually, this is a purely practical question. I was
Mm.
wondering how the retreat weekend went, and
Oh, it was
the
it was
Zoom and the
it was excellent. Yeah, it was really good. Yeah, blending the meeting was lovely. So it was lovely to be back in the room, um, and it was nice for the virtual people, for people to be there. I think in person asking questions, so they seemed to enjoy that. It's funny that the people on the Zoom didn't really even say much the first day. I think they were just listening to the room, and then they kind of they got in there more in the second day. So
That's great.
but it was brilliant. Yeah, really, I think it's definitely the way to go. Um,
Yeah, that's fantastic. Fantastic. I'm pleased.
yeah, so probably I'm just trying to figure it out now regarding like the plan is monthly, but we'll see, because I just have to wind things up on what I'm doing, and then we have July and August, which is just a bit mad, really. July and August for people traveling and getting hotels, and because a huge portion of people tend to travel, well, it's within Ireland obviously, but then coming overseas and stuff. So I'm gonna have to figure that out in the next week. I'm not sure I'll even bother
Yeah.
trying to do something in July and August, but I'm not 100% sure yet. But then from then on, then it's going to be monthly blended, is the plan. And then I'm thinking
Oh,
October, a retreat in October, a 4 day retreat.
wow.
So that'll be,
Gangbusters.
yeah, I gotta go for that one again. When did we do the last one, Maureen? Was it October?
Yes.
Yeah, so October maybe might be a good month. Right, November you're kind of coming into winter, really, aren't you? Um, so I'm thinking October. Yeah,
Great. Super.
yeah.
Super.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
I'm
yeah,
happy for.
maybe you'll get another one. I'm sure you will. One that suits.
Yeah. Yeah. As everything opens up here, people will travel more. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's just the
Max.
way.
Max says he's going to Galway in October, so that would suit. Okay. Very good. I'll have to do it for you then, Max. Yeah.
Thanks,
Of
Kenneth.
course, because there's only me. Of course.
No, thanks, Maureen. Yeah, that's yeah. So that's the story. It was small gathering for people, but I kind of knew it would be, because I didn't advertise or anything, and I just it's a few weeks' notice, just put it out to the email list and stuff. But once you've got enough people, it's great. You don't need that many really.
No, no, not at all.
And there was plenty of Zoom virtual participants as well. So
That's great. Good, good.
yeah,
Okay, that's all I had to say. There's nothing real to
no,
say.
it's nice to speak to you. Yeah, I don't
You
get to speak
too.
to you
You
that
too.
much.
Yeah, I know. I know. Thanks, Kenneth.
Thanks, Maureen.
Bye, love.
Bye. Hi, Alice.
Hi, Kenneth.
Hiya.
I'm okay. Um, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like it should be simple, but it's not real simple to me. It's like just to see what's going on. That's what we are, whatever is going on now. Um, and if I were to see everything that's going on now without a story, is that kind of the object of it?
The object of the
I mean,
meeting?
well, or the object of my piece.
I didn't get the object of your what?
Peace, and just having peace within, to being able to see what is going on right now, because really this is all there is, and I have trouble seeing that this is all there is.
Yeah, of course you do. Yeah. So it's all I can say really. Oh, Bob Marley's coming. That's wonderful. You see, you're never surprised. You never fail to be surprised with these things. We'll let him in anyway. See what happens. So Alice, like, I mean, the only what I would say, the only thing I can say about it really is that it's just ludicrously ordinary what's being suggested. I can't even remember what was said in the introduction, but it's it's really just a very simple suggestion that sense that there's something really happening and it's happening to you is artificial actually, and that there's no you in there in the body. There's just what's appearing to happen. There's no you that thinks. There's no you didn't speak there. There was just speaking. There's just sitting on a chair. There's just whatever appears to happen. That's not seen by you then. So this suggestion isn't being made that that you will see what's being suggested here. It's seen by nothing, which is all there is already. You can't imagine what's being suggested here, because anything you imagine is simply another thought or an idea. Yet what's being suggested is, you cannot express how ordinary it is. It's so ordinary and obvious, it's continually overlooked by the person. There's just what's appearing to happen. There's just sound, sitting on a chair, watching a screen, so on. And that can just be obvious then. It's not about understanding or knowing anything at all. It's the person understands and knows.
It seems challenging to turn off the thinking mechanism that has been seeking most of my life.
Yeah, and you're not being asked to.
Right.
Like, actually, one thing that could be obvious here is that you're not being spoken to. You're not being addressed as a person, and there's absolutely nothing being asked of you whatsoever. I'm not speaking to an individual here because I can't see one. Because there already is no individual. There's already just nothing being everything, which appears as Alice, life Alicing. So it's in that way that you are already what is looked for, in the sense, but there's no you. There never has been. So that's the amazing thing, is that nothing is required. You don't have to turn off any thought process, or it's the person that feels they always have to do something, that something needs to be done. I need to think less. I need to be stiller. I need to forgive everybody. I need to love everybody, whatever. Just blah, blah, blah. The list goes on. And that's all just within the loop of me. Actually, what's been spoken of here, nothing is required. Which is the easy part. And then the hard part is nothing is required. Because the person lives in something being required, because they live in knowing. So something needs to be known, some state needs to be achieved, some experience needs to be had, so on. So this, for the person, is very frustrating
Yes.
in general, for the individual, the apparent individual.
Thank you so much. That sounds very clear.
And, you know, there may be clarity, and then there may be confusion. And confusion is it as much as clarity. There's just what's appearing to happen, because it's not anything to do with knowing.
Thank you.
Thanks. Shed a bit of light on the situation here. Hi, George.
Hi there, Kenneth. I'm new here.
Oh, well, you're very welcome.
So thank you. It is clear to me there's no person here. There is no separate self. There's been a separate self.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, I behave and act and think as if there's a separate self. So what I feel like asking you, but I know it's a loaded question, is, well, what can I do to rectify the situation? But there's no I here to do anything.
Yeah, so you're in a scenario where, and this can happen very easily, you're in a situation where you already know the answers to all of the questions that are going to arise. But it doesn't matter anyway. As I said at the beginning, it really doesn't matter if there's a question there and you even feel you know the answer anyway. It may be just there to be asked anyway, because it's all just energetic. But you have correctly answered the question.
But I haven't asked the question yet.
Okay, sorry.
All right. So there's nothing I can do, but can anything be done? That is,
I didn't. Sorry. Yeah, I didn't. Let's just pause there, though. The question, if the question is, "There's nothing I can do," the answer is that it's not that there's nothing you can do. It's that there's no you to do or not do anything, and they're very different things. The person thinks that, okay, so there's nothing I can do. So what you're saying, Kenneth, is there's nothing I can do. And no, that's not what I'm saying at all. It's not at all what I'm saying, because I'm not even speaking to you. It's that there's no you there that can do or not do anything.
I understand that, but you said that you were speaking to me. So there must be a you there that is speaking to something here.
Did I say I was speaking to you?
I thought you said that, yes.
You're kind of breaking up there. Is your internet connection okay?
I don't know. Am I any better now?
No, you're on a bad connection. I'd say you're kind of breaking up. Well, let's just clarify right now. I'm not speaking to anybody, and that's usually said at the start of the meeting. there's no sense here of someone speaking to people in different countries on a Zoom meeting. There's just speaking, there's just sharing, because there is no body already, there is no separate individual. And what this is suggesting has nothing to do with you, and you can't even hear it. You, as in the individual, can't even you can't hear what's being said here. So there's no interest here in the person, the individual.
Right, but there is hearing and there is speaking.
There's just what's appearing to happen, which is speaking, screen, whatever you can see around the room, sitting on a chair, whatever, and that's the suggestion that's been made. There doesn't require anybody the person feels that there has to be someone in there for anything to be happening.
No, I know there's nobody in here.
Yeah, but knowing, this has nothing to do with knowing. It doesn't matter what you know or don't know. Knowing you're not there makes no difference whatsoever.
Then what does make a difference?
There's no way of telling what. There's no way of telling what if the sense of being a person will appear to fall away or not. And if it does appear to fall away, it will be despite anything that appeared to go before it.
Okay, so I get what you're saying. It will fall away when it falls away.
It will appear. It will appear to fall away when it falls away.
Yeah, I understand. It will appear to fall away. It can't fall away because it's not there.
Yeah.
Yes, I get that. It will appear to fall away when it does. That's all, right? It's kind of frustrating because as you said before,
it's probably the most frustrating communication for the person that they could ever hear. It's probably the most frustrating communication out there, I would say, in that sense. It's completely ordinary. It's very easy because it's just simply already what's appearing to happen, and it's impossible for the person because they're already not there, and there's no them to do or not do anything.
Right, but there's a sense. There's a sense of being here, beingness. And that sense of beingness seems to be independent of being a person. Am I right about that? Being a person is all fictitious.
Yeah, so there's no person. You didn't just say that sentence there. That's just been words that were said. There's already no person. So there's already just energy, which is nothing being everything.
Okay. Thank you, Kenneth.
Thanks, George. Try and see if you can get a better internet connection just for people listening. You kept cutting out and in and out.
Okay. I will
next time,
see what I can do.
Yeah, but it's lovely to speak to you.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks. Hi, Heidi.
Hi, Kenneth. Hi.
Hi, yeah.
Hi. Hi. I was inspired by the speaking of George. It remembered me at some dreams I had in my middle time, in between 30 and 40. There was night dreams when I felt into the water, and my feeling was, wow, I have to die now. But then I started breathing under the water, and I was really very surprised that this is functioning.
Ah.
In these night dreams, I could breathe in the water, and I suddenly had the idea, this is something how it feels, breathing in the water. If it is falling away, it is like breathing into the water. And it's not possible to understand this because it's not possible to breathe on the water. I cannot tell it in another way.
No, that's nice. Yeah, no, thanks a million for sharing that. Yeah, that's lovely.
Yeah.
That's lovely, yeah.
It's nice to see you. It's nice
Yeah,
to
it's
see
nice to see you.
stay in the room now. Yeah.
I haven't seen you in a while. Nice to see you,
Yeah. I work a lot in a moment, and sometimes suddenly it's possible to jump in this
Oh,
rooms.
of course, yeah.
I love these rooms. I really love these rooms. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, Heidi.
Thanks.
Hi, Andy.
Hi, Kenneth. Just want to share that this evening I was, I don't know, doing something outside, went outside into our garden, and there was a blackbird on the very top of a cypress tree just near us. And it was singing. It seemed to be singing in phrases. And I imagine this was like a night prayer or a night oratory of some sort. It was the most beautiful thing against a background of these clouds and the sunset. And it did feel very much like the music was coming out of nothing. I got that sense. Even though I could see the bird, I could see there was the narrative of what was going on, but there was a very magical sort of feeling.
That's lovely, yeah. The blackbird is a beautiful songbird.
Absolutely. I just stood there transfixed for a while, and
yeah,
I recommend it.
Yeah, bird song is beautiful. Sometimes I open the window if there's here, and people can hear. They have quite a lot around me, but yeah, lovely.
Thanks.
Thanks, Andy. I've got this hammock tent, and you can put it up really high in the trees. You know, I've got trees behind the house, and if you sleep out there, you get woken with the dawn chorus at like 4 o'clock. It's the most amazing thing. It just explodes. Then you're wrecked for the day because you're up too early.
Listening to the bird songs now. We're camping.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And I woke up to the bird songs this morning also. And also bullfrogs.
Ah, they're probably noisy little feckers, are they?
Oh my goodness. Can't even replicate the sound.
Yeah.
You can make people laugh by trying to replicate bullfrog. I can't do it.
There was a chap who was severely depressed, and he just went. He tried all the medication and blah blah blah, everything. Nothing worked, and then he just started going out walking in his local kind of woods or whatever, and listening to birdsong, and he was totally fine within a couple of weeks. So he wrote a book about it. He wrote a book about it, and yeah, I mean, that's what he's advising. Get out there and listen to birdsong if you're depressed, and you won't be depressed, or you may not be depressed. It's probably, as advice goes, it's probably not so bad, but this is something different. It's this is not being spoken to anybody. There's nobody to speak to. There's nothing to be done, because already there's just unconditional love, which is nothing being everything. That's already just whatever is appearing to happen. And this is an illumination that sense that there's something really happening, and it's happening to a you, is artificial. There is no separate you. Hi, Leila.
Hi. Hi, Kenneth. So when you say there is a resonance, like when you talk, is that like energy interact with itself?
Well, there's nothing but energy, actually.
Yeah.
So all this is just all there is energy. Energy zooming, energy speaking, just there, energy speaking. There's not different energies, even though it may appear that way. So all there is energy, and energy is nothing being everything. So when I say there's a resonance, it's an effort to describe how this suggestion is just seen by nobody, and in the sense that sense of being a person, a separate person, just isn't there anymore, or it can be just not be there. So that's it. And the resonance also, when I say a resonance, is it's that what's being suggested here can just ring a bell, or just it can really resonate with somebody who's listening. That it's the ordinariness of what's being shared, the obviousness of what's being shared, it can just resonate, and it can be very, very obvious. This is so obvious what's being shared here. That's the difficulty for the person. It's too obvious and open and already the case. It doesn't resonate with you. It's not you, that's as in the individual, because the individual's just being an individual, actually.
Yes.
Yeah. Hi, Dana.
Hey, Kenneth. I guess this is just something to share, that there's been a lot of observation here about when I'm deep in the woods by myself, it's so obvious that I'm not.
Yeah.
And it almost feels like a resonance similar to when hearing this message. Just the resonance with being deep in the woods. And then it's noticed that when I come back and am around people that are addressing me as a person, that contracted energy just seems to solidify, or there's just the me kind of kicks back in, and
apparently, like, it seems to, like you said, it seems to be. Yeah.
That's the hard part.
It seems to be, and then that's what's appearing to happen then. That's what's appearing to happen there. And what's being suggested is it's not that you kind of fall away in the woods and there's just one, whatever, and then that you come back when people speak to you and you address you as a person, that you actually come back. You don't actually come back at all. But it may be that sense of being a person appears to be there. And before that, it's quite obvious that it isn't. When there's kind of being in nature or whatever. And so that's what's appearing to happen there then.
I just need to hear that over and over, I guess.
It can just be very obvious that when people speak your name and speak to you, that's fine, and there is a response, to say, oh, what are you doing on Wednesday? Did you say you were gonna, bring the nachos and cheese, and they're gonna bring the beer, or what's happening? And so yes, I said that. Whatever, the response will come, and it can be just very obvious that there's just the words coming out, and that there's actually no individual who's saying the words, and there never has been, and also there's no, the person who's speaking at you is clearly just energy as well, because all there is energy. That's all there is. They may say that they're a person or whatever, or report themselves to be, and that's fine. We're not talking about a real thing that really happens, like really being an individual, and that really falls away. It's an illumination that there never was an individual. It's never there. But it may feel very real. It may feel that there is one.
So again, it's just that me wanting to claim.
It's just a narrative, really, of what's going on. Like there's an openness there to that. There's just energy. There's just what's appearing to happen, and that's kind of, that's resonating, and it seems more obvious at some points than other points, we'll say. And then there's just this narrative going around of I'm here, I'm not here, or I'm back again, or whatever, and that's completely, totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just words, or it's just thoughts or feelings or whatever. It's just playing out like it's playing out. It can't be any different.
That's a good word, narrative.
Yeah, I mean, that's what the person is a story. It's a very intricate story. That's not just an idea. It's an energetic feeling of being this person. And it's always concerned with information processing, and the information that appears to come in is filtered in such a way that it feeds the narrative. You know, that's why you get, like, that's why, were you ever in a situation with a friend and something happened and they looked at the situation so completely differently, and maybe say in a very negative way that it's some reflection on them, and you're standing there going, how did you get that from that? How did you, like, how did you manage to extract that idea that was so, you know, how did, like, it's difficult to do that, like, because it's so neutral. You could see that it was totally neutral, and it's so obvious in what appear as other people that it's just a continual feeding of the narrative of me. It's just this software that just, it's an added software that just continues this sense, this really lived sense that I'm in the body and it's my life. And then this story of me then is, it can be very positive. It could, you're the best person ever, or it could be very, very negative. It doesn't really matter. You know, it can often be more negative. There's a huge sense of unworthiness in people that kind of is often hidden because people put a mask, you know, the face to meet the faces that we meet. We put on that everything is fine, and we feel I'm the only one who feels unworthy, really. Everyone else is doing great. And that really is concerned with having a sense of having lost everything. Because there's me, and there's the big world out there. There's little old me and there's a big world. And what is it like? Why have I been abandoned by wholeness? You could say. Now, these are not thoughts that people would think in that way, but, you know, it's just obviously all a story.
Yeah.
It's too obvious and ordinary, and, you know, this, it's just very, there's just what's appearing to happen, which is totally unknowable and ungraspable and inexpressible, and it's just gorgeous because it's just, it is and it isn't. You know, it's over before it began, because it's there and not there. It's totally new, and that's where the adventure is. You know, for the person, they think the adventure is in them having experiences, and them, you know, it's always something to do with them, like states of mind or experiences. And the real adventure is in unknowing. The real adventure is in just, there just being already what's appearing to happen. So in that way, what's yearned for is simply already the case. It's already what's appearing to happen, which is incredible, really. Because, of course, we go around constantly looking, rejecting what we're looking for, what's actually being looked for, in favor of what might be.
There's a lot of imagining of what you're saying.
Nah, it's okay. It doesn't matter. It's like, like none of that is grasped. None of that needs to be grasped or known. It's all, there's just a sense of what's being shared here. It's completely beyond the mind. It doesn't matter. You know, you could think, you could kind of get a hold of something that's said for a little while and think you kind of know it, and it doesn't matter. Like, I mean, we had a gentleman there at the beginning, and, you know, and we often do have someone who knows they're not there. I mean, what difference would that make? This is totally beyond knowing. You do not have to grasp or understand anything that's been said here. It's inescapable what's being yearned for. So what's being suggested is what's being yearned for is actually inescapable, because it's just whatever's appearing to happen.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dana. Hi, Kimo.
Okay, it's just so wonderful what you just have told, because it is in a way this reducing all these struggles into the world is against me. It's what I heard, and this and this sensing that and then make all kind of strategies to handle this this me and how to to handle the world. It was I don't know if I can express it
Oh, it's fine.
so
Yeah,
it's
no, absolutely. No, that's it. It's these strategies. Yeah, it's strategies to deal with the world, and it's your life. So there's not just life. There's your life, and then you have to make something of it. So then you're meeting other people, and other things that are really happening. So you have a way of negotiating, really a better deal for yourself. And that's the way that's a lived reality for the person. It's a lived sense that, well, I studied hard and I got a really good job and I made lots of money. Like, don't tell me that brand new Range Rover outside is not, that's real. It's my car because I worked very hard and my kids go to a good school and I've got a big house because of all the work I've done. So it's a lived reality for the person that they've made a better deal for themselves. And that's what I described there is just all of that living in a closed loop of knowing. It feels absolutely real. It feels completely real all the time you're there. And there's a neurosis to that and a heaviness to that, and always an invitation to see that it's all a story. The big car, the big house, it's all a story. You talk to somebody who's about to die, right? Imminently. They'll tell you very clearly it's all a story. It's all a story. It's so obvious. It's so maybe not, but a lot of it's a very common thing. It's all a story. It's just a story. Yeah. All the big car, the big job, the big everything. It's all a story.
Yeah.
And you've never negotiated anything. You've just been lived. I mean, there's just aliveness. That's all. You've never done anything. It's incredible. Isn't it incredible?
Yeah, it is.
Like, you've never done anything. I've never done anything. Nobody ever has.
Yeah, and it leads me to this when you also said earlier that if it's confusion or it's gladness or whatever, it doesn't matter at all.
It doesn't matter, no. It's gorgeous. It's so gorgeous, really. Because it's whatever's appearing to happen. It's just so amazing. It's so stunning. It's so far beyond the person's idea of liberation or anything. It's so amazing that if there's confusion, that's what's appearing to happen. So of course it is the confusion, whereas the person would feel, I need to not be confused and become clear about what's, whatever, in this case Kenneth's saying, or whoever else, doesn't matter. And that's just, it's a story. What's clarity is just within the loop of knowing within the person. Clarity does not matter. Confusion does not matter. It's just what's appearing to happen. If there's discomfort, it's discomfort. That's what's appearing to happen.
Exactly.
So it's just totally inescapable. And then that's when it's, the person, that's when it's just like, oh, okay. That's the kind of, all right. Okay. There's no Zoom meeting really. There's just aliveness. There's just nothing. It's whatever. Like there's just words then really. Like these are all words. But what's the words are, what's being conveyed is completely beyond words.
Yeah. And you said if we are coming to you and to this meeting for real, it will be more confronting. I don't dare to come.
No, I think that was, someone was asking me about the difference between virtual and being there in person, and I suppose really it's just like what's the difference between talking to a friend on the phone and then sitting down with a friend? It's I mean, that's, but also, you know, this just resonates too. Virtually, like this, when there's an openness to this, and there's no telling how or when or how, just when there is an openness to what's being suggested here, it doesn't really matter if you're hearing it on YouTube or hearing it in a meeting or whatever. But there's just a certain kind of effervescence to just all being in a room together. Yeah, it's not better or worse or whatever.
No.
Plus, I'd look after you, Kim. I'd give you a cup of tea and I'd mind you. You know, if you found it too confronting.
This was all for Kim Ho.
Yeah, Kim Ho. Yeah. So that's it, guys. Just what's appearing to happen. Thank you very, very much. Lovely to see you. I probably have a schedule up. I know a lot of people are asking different. I probably will have it up in the next week or two, and it should finally be all my meetings planned out for the rest of the year, and so that will enable people who are traveling to kind of plan and then use on the residentials and blah. The only kind of tricky thing, as I said earlier, is July and August. I'm not really sure. Things have gone a bit bananas here with accommodation and car hire and stuff, so I don't know really, because people do tend to travel. But anyway, blah blah blah. Nice to see.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
so much,
Kenneth.
Thank
you,
you, guys.
Kenneth.
Take care, guys.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks, Kenneth.
Bye.
Bye.